We are good.
Are we live right now?
Mhm.
All right. Well, we are live from Saturday Night Live, I guess. Well, more like Thursday Night Live tonight. You don't have to laugh. It's terrible. I make terrible jokes, Gil. We're here. We're there. We're streaming everywhere right now. And as you can see, I am freshly showered, you know, freshly showered, right? Just hopped out of the shower and ran here.
M- Barely stand to look at you. You're glistening like a Greek god, sir.
You know, one day, one day.
Hell
I'm just
yeah.
gonna come
Well,
on here with
I
just a bunch of baby oil all over me, and then just be actually glistening. And you're gonna be like, "Did you just come back from a Diddy party?" I'm gonna be like, "No, he's in jail."
it
I
makes the
think.
party you went to even that much weirder. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Joey, you've
Yeah,
got folks that are watching. I think. Nope,
that's
everybody left. Yeah, everything you said killed everything.
that's fine. That's what we're here for.
That
They'll
is
hear the
exactly
audio
what we're
later.
here for.
They'll hear the audio later. It's fine. But are you ready?
I think so. Let me
You got your
adjust my
water,
seating.
your seating comfy. You gotta adjust
Oh
your
yeah.
seat. Adjust your seat. Get your seatbelt on.
Oh, yes. All right.
Okay.
I'm excited, sir. It's gonna be
Me
good. It's been
too.
a while since we've dug into cryptids.
Yes, sir. And you spoiled it. Not that the not that the title didn't spoil it already.
Oh no.
No, no. It was
Oh
supposed to be a
no.
surprise, Gil. That's kind of how we're running this thing now. The ship. All right. Well, I guess I best get into this. Well, get your favorite snacks together. Your tiny cut up peanut butter sandwiches without the crust. Your bags of goldfish because it's hard not to eat all of them. So you don't bring the whole container. Get your travel buddy, the one who can do the directions, pick the good road trip playlist, and finally, turn on your car. Because today, you get to join us on our second part of our cryptid road trip as we traverse the Pacific Northwest.
Woo!
hmm And I just imagine in my head the intro to the boom, boom, boom. What if Buddha did
Turn
cocaine?
around
Yep, that's
every
actually
now
in
and
the.
then. No.
Well, hello and welcome to the Black Cat Report and episode 123, 123. I am Joey, and with me is the beer swilling, high stepping, sign stealing, mic dropping, 80s heart robbing Gil.
Hello, hello, everyone. I
Mhm.
would like to make a quick note here. Um, I paid the ticket for those signs that I stole, so I am completely in the clear. Some might say exonerated, but yeah, no. So it's not hanging over my head anymore. Well, the sign is. I have it on the ceiling, but yeah.
Well, as Gil was looking at the sign that said stop, he decided, you know what? I like Monopoly better.
It is hammer time.
Doom, 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 doom. Time to take the sign. Well, today we're going to take a nice little drive through the Pacific Northwest, like we said earlier, searching for some cool ass cryptids. Right, Gil?
Yes.
Cool. And as you know from episode 99, the first edition of our cryptid road trip, we like to take a nice long drive through the US and visit in on some favorite regional cryptids. Well, before we hop into our episode, we want to take a moment and ask that you give our Patreon a follow if you haven't already. It's free, comes with some awesome perks, even on the free tier. You can get Cup of Joey, Midnight Mass, and there's a shit ton more that we pretty much deliver straight to the Patreon. We give most of our updates to the Patreon. We just like to talk to the Patreon. It's a separate person, I think.
Yeah, pretty much it's a little bit like the Borg. I'm pretty sure most
Mm.
folks that listen to our show are Trekkies, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so at a certain point you just kind of assimilate, into the
Mm-hmm.
Patreon. Yeah.
Yeah. They pretty much as soon as you subscribe, it says collect us.
Yeah,
I believe is the Borg's saying, "Collect us," like Pokemon.
yeah.
I believe the Borg in Pokemon had a crossover event one time, and it was "Got to catch them all," and they did. Well,
Joey, that joke was terrible.
as I'm glossing over it, for those of you that already follow us, we want to thank you all for following us. And obviously, you're watching us tonight. For the most part, you probably are on our Patreon. So you get all this live stuff that we do. You probably get the terrible jokes that I make. And sometimes the way that Gil tells me, also, my jokes are terrible. So this is what we do. It's what we do in person, too. So it kind of makes sense. Um, yep. But we want to hop or drive right into it. So let's go. Our first stop of our cryptid road trip is the state of Washington. And well, mostly known for the hairy big ape like creature roaming around the hills and caves, the tall, tall evergreen trees, we aren't going to visit Bigfoot.
Yeah, this has
He's
nothing
everywhere.
to do with Snatch Twat. Nothing to do
Mm-mm.
with Snatch Twat tonight. So,
No.
sorry, Dwayne.
Well, sorry. I mean, everybody does episodes about him. We've done interviews about him, and it's just, he's great. Bigfoot is amazing, but we got to do some other people. And this one is an awesome one. We'll be going
Hell yeah.
more on an aquatic adventure today, at least for Washington. Our first
Mm.
cryptid is the Lake Chelan dragon. And the Lake Chelan, Lake
I
Chelan
like
dragon, I
chilling.
feel like. I like Chelan.
Chilling like a
Yeah, because
felon.
he's just chilling. Yeah, chilling like a dragon. Well, this cryptid has been rumored about for over 200 years. And actually, in some mythological folklore, it's also been done for maybe like 600 years. But
Yeah.
for our purpose, 200 years. With a few sightings happening in the 1800s that led to the rumor growing of the dragon living below the surface. The Lake Chelan dragon has a pretty mythological beginning. The dragon's origin supposedly was in the 1800s. It was brought over from Fort Augustus, Scotland, when the captain of the ship, Captain Chelan, who also apparently the lake is named for, took a treasure chest from the fort where Captain Chelan's father served. Well, before I go into that, I did also learn some interesting stuff is that there was a Native American tribe called the Chelans that were in
Mhm.
that area. I don't think that's how you say that part. But they were also part of why the lake was named. Why it was like it was them and the captain that was going to there. So it was like a mixture.
I
Well,
mean, honestly, everybody got there and they were just chilling. You know,
chilling like a dragon. That's gonna be a new thing because dragons, honestly, when they're not
pretty chill.
murdering, they're pretty chill. They're just chill.
Yeah, they're not always like they're not standing on business. They're sleeping on it because every time you
You're
see them,
right.
they're just sleeping on top of a bunch of gold and jewels.
Until
But
you take those jewels.
I respect it. I
Yeah,
respect it.
for sure.
I'm a fan.
Well, lustfully and greedily, Chellan hoped and figured that the chest was full of riches of gold and jewels, as you would normally think that a chest that you took from a Scottish.
Question:
Mhm.
He took it all the way from Scotland to the Pacific Northwest and never looked inside until he got out to this isolated lake.
Correct.
All right. Well, this tracks. This makes sense. I'm here for it.
Yes. So, as I was saying, you would normally think that the chest was full of gold. So obviously he didn't look in it. And the chest
Yeah.
was actually guarded by a lot of soldiers. While he was in the like castle, because his dad was like, no one should steal this. This is a chest. It's sacred and blah blah blah. But I
The
actually like
last
to
shipment
imagine.
of new ports to Scotland. We got to protect these
Exactly.
boys.
Gotta protect. These are like gold where we're from.
Man.
Scotland. Scotland is where we're from. Well, I like to imagine the chest being surrounded by like 30 or 40 soldiers, just literally all facing away from the chest. And just like
Mm-hmm.
the captain chilling was just walked in and
Ding,
grabbed the
ding,
chest, looked
ding,
around.
ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. And they're really not gonna do anything. He just walked out, and the soldiers were like, well, they told us to form a circle around the treasure and guard it. And he's like,
But
I
honestly,
said
boys, we've spent so much time together these past few days. I realize the real treasure is friendship. Let's bring it in for a hug, everyone.
Yeah, they brought in
Uh,
for a hug, and the captain just hung them all. You didn't do your
just
duty.
killed them all.
Yeah, yeah. Well, well, after was ta- the well, after the chest was taken, Captain Chellin took it on a nice long sea journey, just like you're talking about, to the New
Yeah.
World for some freaking reason. He just is like, I'm not gonna look in it because it's got to be filled with treasure, right? That's exactly what it's been guarding for. Throughout the long journey, I'm sure the captain met his share of storms and challenges. Scurvy, dysentery. When all the seamen get together on top of the ship and just completely roast the captain. That's what I think of a dysentery. Or probably some typhus
That was
and
good.
maybe some storms.
Yeah.
Who knows? Well, on the coast of Washington, presumably to what was very close to their destination, they met the
Mhm.
most violent storm yet. And this was in the year 1812. Another big event in U.S. history happened in 1812. So, to make this story a little, how can I say, unbelievable, somehow during the storm, the ship was transported to what we now call Lake Chelan, which, to be fair, has no visible outlets or inlets to the Pacific Ocean. So, somehow it jumped some land, a good bit of land, because Lake Chelan's pretty far inland, and
Yeah.
landed on Lake Chelan.
I mean, maybe it was just like one of those Asheville storms that come through that just kind of it's
Could have been.
possible.
Yeah,
It's
it
possible.
just roamed over the land, and they were just like surfing onto into Lake Chum. Could be.
Just chilling all the way in.
hmm Well, as the storm was hitting them, it was tossing the ship violently, throwing back and forth, almost losing all of its cargo and the people that were on board. The chest itself that the captain had risked so much for was thrown overboard. So the
Oh no.
captain jumped overboard to grab the chest. But
Hmm.
he could not, however, keep the chest from sinking, no matter how
Oh.
hard he tried. And slowly, he sank down to the depths of the lake. Now, the lake itself reaches around 1,500 feet deep. So imagine the pressure he was under.
I thought
Probably
you
as
were gonna
much
say
pressure as
15
that.
inches.
No, 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 no. He's just sitting on the top, like trying to
Help!
hold it. Ugh, ugh. I can't do it. Can't even lift this thing.
Dear God.
hmm
This is a godless land.
Yes. Well, there actually was two female stowaways that were on board this, and it was like, very at the all right. They were
Aw.
actually the ones watching the chest. So they were like the guardians, the caretakers of the chest, which is weird that they have a chest that they're guarding, but it's fine. They were protecting the precious contents of the chest because it wasn't gold that was in the chest, but it was something else. The two women jumped into the water after the chest and after the captain. So one went after the captain, one went after the chest. As soon as they hit the water, they changed into mermaids.
This tracks.
Trex? Yeah. One grabbed the chest, the other grabbed the captain. The captain was somehow saved and taken to the shore of the lake safely. The chest, however, was grabbed by the other mermaid, then taken deep down into an underwater cavern where the contents of the chest were revealed. Inside the chest was a dragon egg, and it cracked open under the pressure and a hatchling emerged. Right? This is all tracking, I
Hell
believe.
yeah. All right. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yep.
It's a little
And
dicey there at first, but this is getting good. I like this.
I feel like it's getting there. Yeah.
Good. And the
Thus
dragon said,
became,
"Rawr," and it was Herbert.
and it was Herbert the dragon. Herbert the dragon, the forefather of Herbert, actually.
What was in that chest next to him? It
the
was a it
dragon.
was a count.
it
It was a Count
was a
Saint
it was a
Germain.
count. Yeah, it was Count Saint Germain. They're both hatched out, and we're just like, ha ha.
Ha
This is not the
ha!
right place. This is not the right place. Well, thus became the Lake Chillin dragon right after the hatchling
Mm,
emerged. Now, I want to say, as unbelievable, or in your opinion, as believable as that sounds,
I'm believing.
does make a good story because this has been passed down again for over 200 years, maybe more.
Mm,
And the indigenous tribes of the area, which were probably the Chelan natives, a tribe that was split off from the Wenatchee tribe. From what I could figure, that tribe called the sea dragon, and I'm really, really, really sorry for the pronunciation of this because there is a lot of uh there are basically just N and H and A's in this word. And it's Nahahahatek. I think that's what it pronounces as. So apologize if you know how to pronounce that. NHAHHAHATQ. Please let me know. But I think it's Nahaha. It's very hard to pronounce. Well, the dragon
Sounds right to me.
itself, yeah, the dragon itself was described as having the legs and body of an alligator, the head and eyes of a snake, a scaly tail, and bat wings. And, you kind of think of it, that sounds like a modern day dragon, right?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, at first I thought you were gonna be like the head and the body of an alligator, the the legs of an alligator, the stomach of an alligator.
And
And
the
I was
head of Herbert.
like,
He's a bona fide sea serpent. Well, from all my mythical knowledge, not that I have known many dragons that live underwater, especially with the idea that they all breathe fire and such things. Honestly, I don't. The logistics on this are a little bit iffy, but it's a yeah, it's a cryptid.
it's the physics
Well,
that you get hung up on. It's
it's the
not.
physics. It's not the story, it's the physics of the body. Well,
Mm-mm. No.
supposedly, the legend has it that the dragon was actually the offspring of the Loch Ness monster, which is another, just throwing this out there for no one, because
Okay.
Nessie is considered a female. And for some
Hmm.
reason that I cannot find the exact reason, female Loch Ness monster dragon things cannot fly.
Hmm.
That's for
Uh,
there's no it's just one of those things that they just gets thrown out there every time there's a story, and then they're like, "Well, they can't fly." And it's like, "Okay." And it's like the Lake Chelan dragon is reportedly a male, so apparently it can fly. It's misogyny at its best, probably from telling the stories.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
this
this would
tracks.
help
I
it
mean, out
escape.
there
Yeah.
chasing the ladies.
Yep, yep. Well, this would help it escape with its victims. And that gets us to the couple of witnesses and experiences to this winged cryptid.
Mm.
The first written account of the Lake Chelan dragon came from the Daily Pickaninny on December 2nd, 1892. On a day probably maybe weeks before the newspaper article came out, three men were bathing in the water together. The dragon suddenly burst forth from the depths and grabbed one of the men by the leg, dragging him away. The other two heard him scream, as you would because an animal grabbed your leg with super, super sharp teeth.
That'll do it.
Well, slowly, they were able to drag their friend back onto the beach from the water. However, the dragon maintained its grip on the man. The other two men thought of a genius idea. To slay the dragon, they start to attack it with knives, rocks, and sticks.
Just like our eighth fathers did before our forefathers.
Exactly. And, but if we think about it, dragons are impervious to most weapons unless it's their secret spot. Every story, a dragon has a secret vulnerable spot that they can get hit and they can die. Apparently, this dragon did not have a secret spot.
Mm.
Well, they quickly surmised that ain't gonna do it. They thought maybe fire would get rid of the dragon, as you do. But instead of
Fight
killing the
fire
dragon,
with fire.
exactly.
Idiot.
That's like my house is on fire, so I'm gonna throw more fire, and my house. I'm gonna start burning candles in the house. That'll
Gotcha.
fight it. Yeah.
That's
But
I
instead
mean,
of killing,
honestly,
yeah,
that's like a West Coast government tradition at this point.
100%. Don't use water.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
no. But instead of killing the dragon, it just flew up really quick and then disappeared right back down into the deep water with the man still in its teeth. to
Oh
rest
shit.
at the bottom of the lake as dragon poop.
Mm, just
The
chilling.
guys just never came back. Uh, this crazy tale, however, would not be the last sighting of the dragon. In 1945, a school bus full of children had a major accident. And this sounds really sad because the school bus flew over a railing into the depths of Lake Chelan.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, yeah. That part had nothing to do with the dragon. The dragon wasn't devious like that. The bus just went over the edge and all the kids disappeared. So,
Fucking Miss Frizzle just fucking
we're
just what was the
going to
name of the
find the
little lizard?
dragon.
No, what was the name of the
Oh,
little
yeah. I
lizard
don't
that was
remember.
with Miss We're gonna go find your mom or your
Yeah,
dad.
yeah.
Come
Miss
on, kids.
Frizzle. Oh, God. And this time they did not shrink down.
I thought they suspended your license.
Yeah, this school bus wasn't so magic. So, well, days after the accident, divers
Mm,
were sent down into the lake to search for the bus and recover the bodies of the victims so the families can lay their
mhm.
children to rest. Because a few children died in this. I think about 15, 20 children died,
Just a
and the
few.
driver. Yeah, just a few.
Yeah.
And
Just
the
a couple.
driver actually died too. Miss Frizzle actually died too, and
Oh shit.
so nobody escaped. The divers searched the lake's bottom for the bus, but as they were around about 200 feet from the
Mm,
recollection of one of the divers, a big and shadowy figure or creature was circling them, just watching and staying just out of sight. One of the divers, as they came back up, and pretty much they didn't even get down to the bus, he was so shaken from this experience that the diver is like, nah, fuck that. I'm never going back to diving again. Let it go. And so this was
shit.
attributed to the Lake Chelan dragon because they said it was like enormous in size. It was moved super quick in the water. And they were just like, no, 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 we're not going back down there. Screw that. So
Damn.
yeah, I wouldn't go back in the water either because I'm already pretty scared of going down then in the depths because you can't see anything.
How sure are we? And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but how
A
sure are
skeptic.
we that he didn't just see the bus? Because it was a bus.
He said the guy said, I mean, you can never. It's 1945. It's hard to be sure about anything, and that's happening. But
Yeah.
he said that it was moving around them. It wasn't like stationary. He said he
Mm,
saw the shadowy figure creature. What he said was moving around him and was like in circles, pretty much just out of their sight. And if you've ever dived, if you have you ever dove before, gone like
uh,
actually scuba diving or like scuba
mm-mm,
diving, it's
mm-mm.
weird. It's creepy. I did it when I was 17, 18. I got licensed to do scuba diving for a year, and my mom was, helping me do it. We went down in this quarry. Quarries are freaky because it's just like
Yeah.
not really that natural of water. So it's like you're
Yeah.
going down into this crazy water. And quarries a lot of times are known to house like some weird stuff because a lot of them have so many like inlets and outlets and caves and caverns down there just from normal from water moving around.
And they're just a dumping ground for everybody for a long period of time.
For a lot of
Yeah.
deaths. So you
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
down there and like you'll see random stuff, but the visibility, there's barely any visibility. So if you're looking around, you
Hmm.
can't see anything. So pretty much stuff is like maybe 5-10 feet away before you can like
It's just
see it.
all
So
jump scares.
it is very much jump scares. And there's a lot of fish. I mean, in Corey's, there's a lot of fish down there usually. And it's
Mm,
normal, but it also gets very, very, very cold. So not
mm,
even maybe 15, 20 feet down you can go, and you're already freezing. You need the wetsuit pretty much to keep you warm. Or dry
mhm.
suit, sorry. You need the dry suit to keep you warm. But yeah, it's freaky. I don't do it because I was always really scared to go down that deep. When I had other people, like 6 or 7 other people, I was like, "Oh, this is fine. Like, one of us dies, we all die, so it's fine, no big deal." Um, right? But well, there was lots of stories of ships being stuck. Oh, sorry, let me reread that. Reread. Well, there are a lot of stories of ships being sunk, towns being destroyed, and things like that happen around Lake Chelan. I actually could not find any modern day examples of those. It's just one of those kind of like he said he said, she said kind of things, and like kind of lore of like the Lake Chelan dragon is oh, there's a bunch of towns destroyed, maybe a ship or two being sunk. I'm like, those are not really ships in that lake, so it's not really that big of a lake. But it is probably more like smaller, fishing boats in there, fishing canoes and stuff. But I
Yeah.
did find a local Salish story, which was the local native tribe, one of the local native tribes around there, and was told around fires and repeated over and over again. The Lake Chelan dragon was a bad spirit, and this is what they said, that was in a fight with the forces of good. In their story, it presents the evil serpent, the Lake Chelan sea dragon. I like to call him Lake Chelan sea dragon because that's what he was, but just Lake Chelan dragon that would rise from the depths of the lake to destroy everything around it, eating and scaring away all of their food, fish and animals alike. To stop this from happening, the good spirits made like a rock dam on the mouth of the Chelan River. They did this thinking that it would trap the dragon and then drown it. But apparently, those spirits didn't know that it was a lake sea dragon and it lives in the water, so it's not going to drown.
And it can
The
fly.
dragons seeing this, right? The dragons
Yeah.
seeing this decided, nope, nobody is stopping me, and went crazy, destroying everything in and around the river, villages and villagers alike. Now, one of the reasons that this story was believed to have passed down was a young girl was out picking berries, and she was the sole survivor of the destruction. Gil, here's where we get to the sad part. The
Oh.
waters
She
rose
was the
from the
bus
dam.
driver.
Yeah,
Oh.
she was the bus driver that lived later. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, sadly, the waters kept rising around her from the dam, and she could not escape. But before she had perished in the raging waters, she apparently had enough time to paint her whole life story and the trauma-inducing events right before her death, so that the legend of the sea dragon lived on in stories.
Have you ever just I don't know, you get that anxiety about something that you like really have to do, like you really gotta poop, but for whatever reason you're like, I have to file my taxes and fold my laundry before I poop. Like you just, you get all that's just me. Anyways, I can relate
No.
to this. That I would do this. I would start taking painting classes and be like, "Oh god, the water's rising. Quick, I got to find a YouTube playlist." Oh, there's apparently a sale on LinkedIn for painting. I probably got time to order some shit on Amazon. Just gonna just like the whole time just building up around me. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not gonna run out of materials for watercolors.
I thought for a second that was going a different way when you said when you were going to go to the bathroom and you were like, "Shit, I got to paint stuff," literally and figuratively. Um, and you're like, "I'm not running out of any paint right now." And then that is
Yeah,
your
I
life
just painted
story in
my
your bathroom.
pants.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And your life story was painted in the bathroom. Um, Actually, you know what?
Honestly, on a couple of occasions, I've painted my life story mostly after Taco Bell, but
Yeah, yeah. A mix of Taco Bell, Chipotle, and Pizza Hut, I think.
that'll do it.
I think I said something like that in the last cup of Joe. It was had something to do with Taco Bell, Chipotle, and a mix. And some sort of joke. I don't know. I forget
The
everything
Holy
after I write it down.
Trinity.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I do want to mention this because I have literally been chomping at the bit to find some seaworthy stuff. The lake also, and I have to mention this because it's me. They have a yearly Lake Chelan Pirate Festival. It returns
God damn it.
every August.
Are you gonna
It
go?
has a whole market. No, it's in Seattle. I can't go to that. That's way too. It's in August, so it is plenty of time, but it's a long way to go for a pirate festival.
Is it though? Is there even such thing as that?
No. Well, I could go to the Tampa one. I think that's July, right?
No.
That
I
doesn't seem as
used
fun
to,
because it feels like it's
yeah,
natural.
Gasparilla. No, I mean I helped open up a cafe like in Ybor, like where
Hmm.
Gasparilla happens. It's if that's your scene, that's cool.
This
It's
one
not
might
mine.
be funner, more fun.
Yeah. I think a pirate festival based around a lake with a flying swimming dragon way cooler. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Well,
Sounds more chillin'.
does Gasparilla have a pirate carnival?
Yes. Yeah, I
Oh
watched
well,
it a
never
bunch
mind.
of
This one has
times.
a whole market pirate carnival. Yeah, it's
It's
pretty
like
much.
a 6 block long Mardi Gras. Or
Mm.
4 or 5 block long Mardi Gras. It's very small. It's very
Can
small.
you camp out there?
A lot of people do, but a lot of people do every night in Ybor
Mm.
City.
Oh, okay. So it's
Mostly just in the alleys and on the sidewalks around the bars. So yeah, you can. You
I
totally
guess
can.
not
Yeah.
legally. I guess. I guess they just do it. I guess it's better than driving. And
There's no laws in
if it's
Ybor.
a yeah, if it's a pirate festival, ain't no laws anyways.
Ain't no laws anyways.
Well, you can camp at this one legally, and it's around the lake,
What?
and you can have fun. Yeah, and you can go to the markets. It's a pirate market. I hope to God it's only barter. It has to be only barter if it's a pirate market. Like they're just like, oh, I'll get yar, I'll give you my leg uh for that sourdough. You know, it's like, no,
I couldn't
that's
take
not.
your I couldn't take your wood like, no, the other one and just start sawing it.
Yeah.
Oh my
No,
god. How could I
I'll
turn
take
that
that.
down? Such a good
Yeah, yeah.
deal.
Yeah. Well, that'll
Yar.
fetch me a lot on the black market. Just tosses it in the tosses it in the lake and the dragon just comes up. Perfect.
And it's appeased another year.
And that's a piece for a that's why they have the festival. They toss in they toss in random body parts.
A lot of weird
We'll get
traditions around this town. Yeah.
it is a good one. Keep your
I'm
diving suit
beginning to
on.
think that the catastrophes and the horrible situations that happened were mostly due to people doing idiotic shit and had less to do with random events.
I think the three men that were there probably murdered the other man. And
My
then
gerbils got into my napalm collection. Everybody run!
yeah, yeah. I think the three men were murdered by one of the men murdered the other one two
Wait,
of the men murdered the other man. And we're like, "Oh, a dragon got him."
was it Gerbil Cherry or was it Gerbil Lucy? It was Gerbil Lucy. Why did you teach her to use a lighter? Yar!
Yarr. We don't use lighters anymore for that reason. Mhm. Well,
We don't train
Gil,
gerbils to use lighters anymore. Yeah.
no, we do not. Neither cats because they are fire starters. Yeah. Well, Gil, I want you to keep your diving suit on.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Keep your sea legs attached, your river legs, whatever you want to call them. Are they attached?
Yep.
All right. We're going to take a tiny bit of driving. We're just going to drive, though. Keep your stuff on. We're going to drive for a little bit, not
I'm
too
doing
long.
more swimming than driving.
Okay. Well, we're going to drive for a little bit to get to the next swimming hole. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to drive down to Oregon because we're doing the Pacific Northwest. We're driving down to Oregon. We're in Washington. We
Okay.
drive straight down to Oregon.
Okay.
Done it
Okay.
many a times. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be our next stop on this road trip. We're going to drive our half amphibious, half land roving car down to the Columbia River in Central Oregon. Now,
Okay.
mhm, I think you should all know by now that I love alliterations in my cryptids, like Sinkhole Sam, Bermuda Bob, Cactus Cat, or Tahoe Tessie. And we might do Bermuda Bob in the future because Bermuda Bob is a pirate cryptid, which is, again, another one. But
Pirate cryptid.
it is a pirate themed cryptid. It is very interesting because pirates used to see Bermuda Bob on the water and it was on another ship. It's a whole lore. There is a whole pirate lore behind this that I don't even want to get into today. And I kind of knew you
This,
would
this
ask
feels like
about it,
foreshadowing. Yeah.
but I didn't want to look into it because I was like, it's going to go way too far and I need to write this episode. So,
It's
Bermuda
gonna be
Bob,
me. He's gonna
future.
become your Kyuchi, your Saruko Kyuchi. You're just gonna be like, it was just gonna be one episode, but I'm gonna need about 3 months now.
It's gonna be 6 episodes for Bermuda Bob. Uh,
Fuck yes.
yes. Maybe that'll be future because Bermuda Bob. is interesting. But our
Fuck yeah.
second cryptid today, because I
Mhm.
love alliterations, is called Colossal Claude. I love the name. It's one of my favorite names, actually, for a cryptid.
It's pretty great.
It also has a beer named after it by Rogue Ales. It's in Newport, Oregon. I
Okay.
mean, a lot of cryptids have beers named after them, but
Yeah.
Rogue Ales made a cool. It's a American IPA, I think. So, gotta love
It's kinda like
IPAs.
right-wing pundits, and they all have their own, like, nicotine pouches that they sell
hmm
now.
Tactical
What is up with
baths,
that?
they have
Yeah, but, like,
everything.
every right-wing pundit is coming out with those little, what is
Designs,
it? Yeah, Zins or whatever the
Zins.
yeah, yeah, it's a thing. There's, like, a whole gourmet line of I mean, this is fucked up. Um,
Shoot it.
it's nice to know that someday they're gonna be missing their jaws.
Yep. It's almost like they're chewing radium, like they did back in the day. I mean, honestly, some of those things are probably in the future. They're going to be like, that was real bad for you. That's a lot of radiation in there. Something random. I don't know. I mean,
I
it's
always like to think
nicotine,
that
so it's probably already bad.
remember the Livestrong bracelets back before,
Yep.
uh, Armstrong, like, fucking fucked over his reputation? Um,
Yep.
I always thought they looked kinda goofy, although they were, like, a massive fucking trend for, like, a few
Oh,
years.
oh yeah.
I thought it'd be great, um, in the most horrible of ways if all those silicone Livestrong bracelets, it, like, turns out that they caused, like, wrist cancer. Um,
That
we'll
would be
see.
real
I got
bad.
time to be right.
Yeah. Just like they're testing the cell phone radiation on us, on our generation, just
Yeah.
like we don't know if they cause cancer, like, leg cancer or, butt cancer or wherever it's like, wherever you put your phone when you're normally around or hand cancer or something like that. There's like, we'll wait 40 years. And we'll find out then.
I'll be able to afford the treatment by then. I'm not worried. That's what they
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, that's what they said. Everything will get cheaper, right? Well, yeah. This cryptid, Colossal Claude, has been
Colossal
massively
Claw.
capitalized on because a crap ton of the websites I went to had pins,
Mm.
plushies, paintings, and everything else for sale to capitalize
Okay.
on CC. And who is there to represent Claude to make sure that he's getting his cut, huh? Nobody.
Uh, Who's there to poor old Claude? He needs a spokesperson. He needs a representative.
Mm-hmm.
He needs me.
Gil.
Which is why I've officially just become Colossal Claude's attorney.
Yes. You're also like his WWE manager too. So you like you're walking him down swimming him down the river. All right, Claude. You're going to your spokesman for this Rogue Ales today. What are you gonna say? That's right. Nothing.
Can I take some home with me? Yes, and make
mm-hmm.
sure to get the extra stout. Not like last time when you got that weak ass Pilsner. All right. I can't
Mm-hmm.
drink that.
I
How are you
can't
supposed to
drink
pay
that.
me? All this representation I give you, Claude.
I travel all the way up here from North Carolina just for this. Nope. Come on, CC. And I've shortened it to CC now. Colossal Claude. Anyways, Claude is said to roam the Columbus River and feed on the salmon swimming through the area. He actually was of no dangerous origin or had any violent run ins as the earlier sea dragon that we described. What I like to describe Colossal Claude as is just your cool and quiet neighbor that you wave to every once in a while and you see at the grocery store and you give, a nice nod before finishing your shopping. Claude isn't
Yeah.
really interested in you, nor is Claude going to be violent. He just wants to live out his life. Right?
Okay.
That's kind of what I like to see Claude as. I do want to say, I feel like Claude is part of the Council of Cryptids. And I know that's the name of it. Um, I feel like he's just kind of like an overseer of all the cryptids, And I
Kind of
don't want to
sounds
say,
like the capybara of cryptids.
yeah, yeah,
He's just like
just there.
unbothered,
Mm-hmm.
chilling, you know.
pretty much. There is
It's
not
kind
really
of like a
doing anything. And I like to I don't like to think of the council of cryptids as like bad cryptids, right? Because it's really like you said earlier, and we are talking offline. There is no bad cryptids. The
no.
cryptids are just neutral, if anything.
I mean, it's just like, like no human is born racist, right?
Hmm.
No cryptid is summoned evil. They just
Hmm.
it's people that make them evil, you know,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
random rock dams.
yeah. That kind of did it.
That can
I feel like.
turns out that he had spent like the past like 40 years practicing meditation. That was his like
Hmm.
delicately manicured like stone garden that they just completely fucking ruined. He's like, ah.
Hmm. And that was the last straw that day.
Mm.
They had just canceled Friends, and he just is like, just the last episode, and he was like, I.
Just loading the gun. Bam, bam, bam,
Yep,
bam,
yep.
bam, 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 bam,
Hmm.
bam, bam, bam. I can see that.
So no one told you life was
Life was
gonna
gonna
be
end
this
this
way.
way.
Well, speaking of the nonviolent life, the first recorded sighting of Colossal Claude was on March of 1934. The ship that sighted him was called the Viv, and it spotted an
Viv.
unknown creature. The Viv, Le Viv, spotted an
Viv.
unknown creature near the mouth of the Columbia River. And a few different journals of the day had different descriptions provided by the lightship tender Rose. So basically, the person that's like up top with the light looking, being like, "There's goes some fish." Basically, I don't know. I
Yeah.
just made that up. Um,
I don't know what the fuck they do.
yeah, a light ship tender. I imagine that they just
Yeah.
tend the light of the ship.
Mostly I'm the smelliest one here and they put me up here.
They don't like me.
They don't like me.
Hmm. Well, they describe Colossal Claude as a
Mm.
long body, at least 40 feet in length, right?
Damn.
So that was the lightship tender. Captain
Okay.
J.F. Jensen and all the members of the crew, the other members, had seen the serpent and said the neck was about 8 feet long and had a large head accompanied by a huge mouth. So not
Okay.
super detailed, but like, it was given some length of the head. So this would not be the last sighting of the fishing by a fishing boat in the area. In 1939, the crew of the Argo saw Claude coming up out of the water about 10 feet from the ship. This much closer look of Claude gave the crew a much better look at him. They described it as having a camel like head with coarse gray fur, had glossy eyes, and a bent snout. Looks weird.
He sounds like a capybara.
Yeah, right? Yeah, the
He
bent snout.
literally sounds
Yeah,
like a gray
coarse
capybara.
coarse gray fur. Yeah, the fur on the neck.
Yes.
Camel like head. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
This is
Just a
capybara.
a bara, I guess. Just a one in the ocean. Well, the Argo crew said that it basically came up out of the water, grabbed some fish, then just swam away, dipping back down into the water a little further away from the boat. So, there is one weird thing that a couple in 1937 saw. So, this is like 2 years earlier than that. They saw
Okay.
the creature come up out of the water, and this is all happening in the Columbia River. The couple were just chilling on the beach, having a nice beach and wine day near a place called Devil's Churn, which also sounds like what they were going to do after their beach day. The
About to
two
be
of them,
there. Churn, if you know what
they're
I
going to be
mean.
churning, yeah. Well, the
Mm-hmm.
two of them saw just offshore a
You needed to
huge.
make butter for the week.
The two of them saw just offshore a huge hairy thing, which is also what she said when they were churning butter, that looked again like an aquatic giraffe with a neck and maned head sticking up about 15 feet above the water. They said it looked like an aquatic giraffe, which is
And it's just
very
like,
interesting.
huh, just when I'm starting to not feel insecure, nature's got to go out of its way.
She's like,
I'm not even in the mood. I'm not in the
I'm
mood.
done. I'm done. Well, they also said it was about 50 feet in overall length, which is actually isn't too far away from the 40 feet the fisherman said it
Yeah.
was. It's, it's kind of depends on how far away you see it, the
Mhm.
length of wherever it is from you, from the sun, whatever you're seeing, right?
Yeah.
As it was sighted, the monster
Coriolis
goes,
effect.
yeah, yeah. But
The
Gil was older.
Coriolis effect, and then
Yeah, yeah.
honestly too, and you have the shift from the blue light to the red light depending on the seasons,
Hmm.
like which solstice you're in too. That can completely change the reflections on the water when you get those leaves mixing in there, like a bunch of, is it red tea? Is it black tea? Is it a white tea? Like what did the lake become? So many things could have happened.
Hmm.
Anything but CC gaining a little bit of weight. Um,
Exactly,
yeah,
because that
impossible.
wouldn't happen.
No,
We gotta stop. We gotta stop fat shaming our cryptids. We can't.
I've
We
never,
can't be doing that anymore.
I would
Not
never,
us. Not us.
I would
Not
never
us.
in
But
any way
people.
shame my client.
That is true. You are the one that is promoting them. So you're doing a good job.
Thanks, thank
Yeah. You kind of slipped this. You know what? You know what I think happened. Reason why I
you.
did this cryptid. I think you had like send me just like behind the scenes. You kept sending me little hints. First you were just like, "Hey, can I get your CC number?" And then I was like, "No, I'm not giving you my credit card number." And you're like, "Oh, okay." And you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
CC you on this email." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then slowly, as you kept saying CC, and you would
Yeah,
say Claude every once in a while, and Colossal. I had no
yeah,
idea what you're talking about. And then I saw this, and I was
not a
like,
clue.
"Oh, yeah." I was
Mm.
like, "This is cool. What a
This
great
whole
cryptid."
podcast has actually been my indirect way of telling you that I am legal counsel for Colossal. It's true.
Mm,
This whole time.
did So you are also legal counsel, not just managing.
I was kind of like building up to it, but yeah, I mean
Okay. You're just slowly,
it's a
slowly letting it
complicated
out.
relationship with a cryptid. It's very complicated, mostly
That's
because I
true.
never see them. But
I won't question anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will not
that's okay. I appreciate
question
that.
anymore. Yeah. Well, the couple, they ran to their car after seeing it and they gunned it up the road trying to catch another glimpse of it. And as they got to the area they call Hasita Head,
Jesus Christ.
I'm feeling like someone's trolling me on this one, and arrived
I'm
just in
just
time to get their second look at Claude.
we came just in time. um I this yeah. I can tell what goes on at this lake.
Oh yeah. Hey, you
It's
want to
not
go out
just the
to
cryptids that
Hasita
are wet.
Head?
That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, for sure. Well, as Claude finished trolling the waters for some nice and
Mhm.
tasty fish, Claude just headed out to sea, and they were like, "Good to see you."
Hi, Claude.
Yeah, pretty
Ah.
much. There actually wasn't any more sightings of Claude
Hmm,
anymore. It's been really sad
damn.
because there's a few things, a few theories on why Claude or what Claude was, right? So I want to get into
Okay.
two of them. There's a bunch of theories, but two of them that I guess I could say makes the most sense.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. The first one is that the boring one is that it's just a deformed whale that grew a longer neck than normal. I like to throw that one out as sometimes it seems as a big weather balloon theory as far as UFOs go. It's someone being like, no, it's just a whale. And they say that with all the cryptids that are in the water.
Saw a chupacabra. They told me it was a whale. Saw the
Exactly.
Mothman. Told me it was a whale. Saw
Hmm.
a squonk. A tiny little squonk. Turns out it was
Whale.
it was malformed whale.
It was
I
a
went to
malformed
the
whale.
inauguration in
It was a
January.
whale. It was a whale.
Nah, I didn't go
Well,
to that shit. I'm scared of Washington. Um,
hmm, he's scared of you too. Well, the second one I'd like to prescribe to more because it seems a lot more fun, right?
mhm,
It says that colossal Claude is actually a plesiosaurus, right? A dinosaur.
okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, with the way he acted, he kinda did have that vibe that he was constantly trying to, like, please everyone. This kind of does make the most sense.
Hmm.
Like,
But you know what? He never says please.
no, but he had that, like, pleasant, demeanor about him, you know? Like, even
Yeah.
when, like, he went to go get the fish, um, he was just taking him inside because he had dinner ready. He doesn't even eat fish.
Nope.
Homie eats algae, and only the invasive kind. He's the chillest motherfucker. He honestly, he's the capybara of cryptids. I'm declaring it.
Hmm. Well,
I'm here for it.
me too. The capybara of cryptids on the Council of Cryptids.
Mm,
The
you need a level
plesiosaurus.
head.
You
Yeah.
need a love. You do need a. You need somebody that's just like going to be calm in through every drama-filled moment,
Yeah.
and especially with the Council of Cryptids. You got Mothman up there causing so much stuff. You got
Yeah.
Bigfoot going crazy
When you can see him.
when you can see
Yeah.
him.
Honestly, CC, and this is why I love him so much. He is every group of cryptids need one of them to talk to the cops. Every group needs that.
And that is colossal
And
for sure. Is colossal Claude.
I love it. I'm such a huge fan.
Hi, hi.
Hey, I hope you don't mind. I'm just kind of passing through with some of my buddies. They're asleep on my back. We're gonna be out of here in just a moment. I did my best to cover up my tracks on the way out of town. You let me know. I'll give you my home address. I'm not there very often. It's more of a PO box, But anyways, do me a favor. I really hate to set you back like this. Here's 50 cents. It's for a stamp. I'm gonna need you to write and tell me what the damages were, and well, I'm gonna pay you back double. Anyways, I gotta get Mothman out of here, so I'll see you later. Just boom, 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 boom.
Mhm.
That's what I picture. It's
Hmm.
like the chat. Like, do you know how disarming a cryptid encounter would be if they were that chill?
It would be.
Like every cryptid goes like, and like your heart stops and you're freaking out, or
Mhm.
you're in shock, or you're in fear, and you're in fright, and he's just like. But if they acted the same way towards you, but were calm.
Mhm.
They were like, "Oh my lord, I'm so sorry to scare you. Hey, I'm just passing through right now. Oh, damn it, I left footsteps again. Hey, what I'm gonna need you to do, here's 50 cents. I'm gonna give you my P.O. box number." He's just traveling
The
around the
whole time. The
country just
whole
the
time.
whole Honestly, I haven't been able to go to the laundromat in a while. That's the only reason why people see me out at the lakes. I hate to admit it, but hey, it's okay. It's better for this fur. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm here for it. I'm here for this mild mannered man of monstrosity. I don't know.
I like it. I like it.
Oh.
You did forget his famous like goodbye catchphrase, which was "CC out, stay wet."
Jesus
Connection
Christ.
made. Well,
Fucking shit. I'm actually on my way to go meet up with my friend Ronald. Hey there, CC. How you doing, my man? How you doing? Hey, you still down for flying lessons? I think I'll just walk. Hey, fantastic. No big deal.
I think I'll pass.
Makes sense.
Smart move. Colossal Claude is the most reasonable person ever. Knows
I
what's going on. Doesn't care.
met him when he crashed in the forest. Brought him
I
in for
saved
some
him.
porridge.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't able to save his pants, so I gave him my P.O. box number and 50 cents, and I said, "You go ahead."
You mail me the damage, and I'll send you the rest. I'll pay double. Hmm. Well, the plesiosaurus, which Colossal
Yeah.
Claude was a
Mm,
water-dwelling dinosaur that could, in theory, this is a big theory, survive the
okay.
extinction level event that killed most of the dinosaurs, and it could have lived in the depths of the oceans for many, many millions of years. Kind of
Okay.
like I feel like crocodiles and sharks were also
Crocodiles.
dinosaurs. They were similar
Hmm.
to dinosaurs and they survived. They evolved a lot,
Yeah.
obviously, but this theory prescribes that some dinosaurs could have actually lived. And I want to say the plesiosaurus idea I love because eh, it's just colossal claw's just something different, you know? A
Yeah.
cryptid, a dinosaur, a cryptosaur. I don't know. That's the new probably fucking crypto that they're coming out with later, but
The West
I don't
Coast
want to buy it.
cryptid chill. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
I like
the
this.
plesiosaurus, what kind of throws water on that actually, it doesn't actually make it work, was the plesiosaurus actually breathed air. So didn't breathe water. So if it lived under the water for a long, long time, it would probably die. It would die. It would drown.
Capybaras do the same thing. Just saying.
You're
Just
onto
saying. They can
something.
hold their breath for a long fucking time. They go down, they
Hmm.
eat, and then just chill in hot springs all day and invade rich people's neighborhoods in
Mm.
Central and South America. And I love that. I love that about them.
I guess they could have traveled up the coast and just grown about 30,000 times their
In his
normal,
way the whole time.
yeah,
Yeah.
their normal body. Um, it might have happened. Well,
made,
plesiosaurus
made their
would.
way right through New Mexico while there was some testing going on.
Oh, um, yeah, could be. It could be.
Oh no, your egg ship
Oh no,
crashed right on my hut. Oh, it's scratched. Hey, I'm
it's
gonna need you
okay.
to just talking to the aliens,
Yeah.
just out of sight from Remy.
Yeah, yeah. There's about 50 cents. I know it's a lot of money, but I'm gonna here's 50 cents for you. Mail me, mail me what the damages were.
Naomi.
Hmm. To the aliens. Well, plesiosaurus would actually have to be like seals and find places they could plop their big bodies to rest and breathe the air outside instead of being in the depths of the ocean for most of their life. But that also could explain why it was seen by all the ships with its head above the water, looking around, honestly. Coming up, getting
Yeah.
food, and just looking around, getting air, and then going back down.
Breathing. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
It could also have been the last of its kind. And here's
Mm.
where I get real sentimental.
Oh.
Because poor Colossal Claude could have been looking for the other last of its kind. It could be looking for
Mm.
whatever it liked, the last big mutated capybara that was coming up from New Mexico. Um, another.
Looking for a big booty South American capybara. Just making my way.
Hey, it
I like
disappeared.
them thick and petite, and I'm just kind of
Hmm.
working my way down there.
It might have found a good South American one, and we just never saw
Oh,
it again. Living life.
oh,
And
I
I
love
hope
that.
that's how it ended for Colossal Claude because it hadn't been seen since I think the 1949.
He got down there, found the perfect little, Colombian capybara, and
Hmm.
um, and sadly they weren't able to have their own children, but um, due to the political turmoil at the time that they were kind of settling down, um, they ended up adopting an orphan um,
Mm.
named Pablo Escobar.
You know, I knew his family pictures looked funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
It tracks. I think it
It
tracks.
does trick, and
Mhm.
they did also adopt guy with the weird
He only
last
started
name.
selling cocaine to pay for all the damages that his dad was causing.
That's the PO box. It was in Colombia.
Yeah.
So Columbia River too. Damn, it's all making sense. It got real confused and just went down south to Columbia and was like, this must be the Columbia River. And
See?
yep, well, the last thing that we have of Colossal Claude
Colossal Claude.
is a
Oh.
beer and
Mm,
some pens that are sold on the internet.
I love it.
RIP Colossal Claude.
He'll be
Cheers.
back.
Mhm. Better than ever. I got 50 cents for you. I mean, that's you're gonna need a little bit more for for some stamps there, buddy, now.
Honestly, I've been afraid to come out because of inflation. And it seems like everywhere I go, I end up owing money, and I can't afford it on this. I tried to learn coding, but I lost right after I graduated. I lost that job prospect to AI. Yep, it's a different world for me.
You should
But
see his CC bills, his
I
credit
did
card
send
bills.
I did send some money to Microsoft for putting them through the hassle of having to make the AI.
So apologetic. So
He's such a
beautiful class applause.
plesiosaurus.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'd like the plesiosaurus. Well,
I suspect he came from Canada. It's very strong Canadian vibes. He was working his way
that
down
seems
from
like it.
Canada, which
Yeah,
is where he met Ronald True. But yeah,
that makes sense. The Council of Cryptids,
take it
that's going to be a
around.
thing. It's going to be a thing. Council of Cryptids.
I'm here for it.
We're gonna elect or find out who was elected to the Council of Cryptids.
Yeah, I'm not really super familiar with their procedures or when they
Mm.
meet. Um, but yeah, I'm here for this. I'm here for this Council of Cryptids.
If you know when or where they meet, we would like to
Mm.
get an email from you or a message on Instagram for us. Contact at blackcat.report. We would like to know when the cryptids meet. We're not gonna budge in. We're not gonna go in there and throw our podcasting weight around. We're not gonna go in there and just. I'm not.
I just want to be there to represent my client. That's all I care
He's
about.
gotta be. Someone's got to speak for him. And stop. He's got to stop getting IOUs to everybody, giving IOUs to
Yeah,
everybody.
mostly I just have to make sure he has enough money to pay me. That's all. That's all.
50 cents a minute. That
Um,
wouldn't actually be. What would that be? 50 cents a minute, $30 an hour. That's still a cheap lawyer, though. It's still a cheap lawyer and manager.
truth.
Uh, Anyways, we're gonna get into our last cryptid for today, and we're gonna take another little drive. We're gonna start driving a bit east to get to the state that is literally almost all national parks, and it is one of my favorite states, Idaho. Because you not Tahoe, Idaho. I am really sorry for saying that. I said that so much in high school. Actually, I won't even say that. I didn't say that in high school. I said that in like middle school. You cannot tell me you did not say Idaho, Gil.
A million times. I'm not. I'm
You're not
not
judging.
smirking and laughing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not smirking and laughing about the joke being bad. There's no shame in being a hoe. There's no shame in that.
No shame.
I'm laughing about before you finished your breath. You were already defending the joke.
I was already apologizing for the joke. I was already
Yes.
apologizing.
You've been hanging out with Colossal Claude too much, bro.
I just read a lot about him and I felt like I connected.
Go ahead, check your Venmo. Go ahead, check your Venmo. Sent you
Oh,
50
damn, 50
cents.
cents. Yep, 50 cents. Damn. Okay, cool. Well, for our last cryptid today, we're going with a little closer to our heart. We're going to go, well, the podcast heart, right? We're going to go with the cat.
Hell yeah.
This cat still lives on as the mascot for the Clark Fork High School in Idaho. This is called the Wampus Cat.
Didn't we cover the Wampus Cat?
We did not. Nope.
Oh. The Splinter Cat. We covered the Splinter Cat.
There was another cat that we covered.
No, it was the Splinter Cat.
Hmm.
Hmm. Sus, Joey. You're just like, oh, she.
No, I'm just like, interesting.
Hmm.
The Wampus Cat has origins from the Cherokee in the Southwest and Appalachia region. It is a completely different cat. Okay. I know the one that you're talking. I'm remembering the one you're talking about. We're going to focus on the Idaho Wampus Cat for this road trip because
Okay.
we're in Idaho. So we're going to focus on that part of it. The Idahoan Wampus Cat origin started with the mountain men of the Stanley Basin, which, funny enough, I have actually been to Stanley, Idaho.
Hmm. Is there a story to it, or do you just
It
went
smells
there?
like piss.
Smells like cat piss from all that pussy that's running around.
Really, I'm sorry, Stanley, Idahoans. There's not much there. We stopped in at a Walmart because we had to